I spoke recently about how my standards and ethics are rooted in the past, because at 63 years of age I'm tired of minding my P's and Q's. To be certain of not offending anybody in this day and age, it's better to live the life of a mute, so as to ensure that all bases are covered. Maybe even that term, mute, would be regarded as pejorative these days. It seems hardly a day goes by without another everyday expression from my younger days suddenly becoming nothing short of heresy. And so it is that making YouTube content for us old boomers can be a hazardous affair, and the effort required to ensure that any and all language is sensitive to the needs of others is wearing me down. I know that fear of causing such offence is more imagined than it is real, but it's there nonetheless. And even though the vast majority of my subscribers are of a similar age and unlikely to bat an eyelid at the odd exclusionary slip, there are still those pesky algorithms keeping a vigilant and merciless watch on my every word. Damn them. With well over 6.5 million views of my content, I've only once had a video demonetised due to a pejorative term. The term in question is one I had grown up with, hearing my father's stories of fighting the Japanese Imperial Army during World War II. Having been bombed and shot at for 5 years, you can imagine he didn't have a very high opinion of Hirohito's mob, and routinely referred to them as those bloody blank. In the video in question, I simply quoted the old man's phrase in the interest of authenticity, but it seems even the quoting of the words of others, free of any suggestion that one might find those words acceptable oneself, still qualifies for passive censorship. I wonder if there will come a time when any and all colloquial terms for nationality currently in the acceptable lingua franca will become, well, verboten. Well, look, after all, I can be called a Brit, a Limey, a Pom, a Rosbiff, and not be expected to bat an eyelid, and I wouldn't. Are jocks, taffs and micks also to be proscribed in the new lexicon? If so, what befalls you if you happen to be called jock, taff or mick? As a Yorkshireman, of course, I'm a tyke, just as we have Cockneys, Geordies and Scousers, all harmless, but no doubt doomed at some point. The term used by my old man for his wartime enemy was just an accepted abbreviation of the Japanese name for Japan, but quoting him got my knuckles rapped. Don't get me wrong, I know that there are some derivative terms which are rightly regarded as grossly offensive, mainly because they've arisen out of contexts which have given them a much more unacceptable status, and those terms are rightly at the extremes. But what about the others? We're constantly treading on eggshells in this oh-so enlightened 21st century, where the taking of offence is regarded as the fault of the giver rather than any weakness of character in the taker. And then, what about the notion of free speech? We have no First Amendment like the Americans, so there are no clear lines of demarcation, other than vague notions around the censorship and sometimes criminalisation of words regarded as being inflammatory and thus injurious to good order. But what is free speech anyway? Well, to my mind, it's one of the most fundamental rights in modern society. It refers to the ability of individuals to express their thoughts, opinions, beliefs and ideas without unreasonable interference or censorship. This freedom is considered a cornerstone of democratic governments and is protected by the laws and constitutions of many countries around the world. But not this one. Free speech allows people to communicate openly, challenge existing ideas, and contribute to social, political and cultural development. And although the concept may seem simple, free speech plays a complex and essential role in shaping societies and protecting individual liberty. One of the most important reasons free speech matters is that it encourages the exchange of ideas. In any society, people hold different opinions based on their experiences, values and knowledge. Free speech allows these viewpoints to be shared and discussed openly. Through debate and discussion, individuals can learn from one another, correct misunderstandings and develop a deeper understanding of important issues. When people are free to express themselves, new ideas can emerge and innovation can flourish. Scientific discoveries, technological advancements and social reforms often begin with individuals who are willing to question accepted beliefs and present alternative perspectives. Free speech is also essential for the functioning of democracy. In democratic systems, citizens have the power to influence government decisions through voting, public discussion and political participation. For this process to work effectively, people must be able to share information and express their opinions freely. Journalists, researchers, activists and ordinary citizens all rely on free speech to discuss public policies, criticise government actions and advocate for change. Without freedom of expression, governments could suppress criticism and control information, making it difficult for citizens to make informed decisions. As a result, free speech serves as an important safeguard against abuse of power and corruption. Sound familiar, any of this? Throughout history, free speech has played a significant role in advancing social progress. Many movements that promoted equality, justice and human rights depended on the ability of individuals to speak out against unfair treatment. Campaigns for civil rights, women's rights, labour protections and political reform often began with people expressing views that were unpopular or controversial at the time. Although these individuals sometimes faced opposition, their ability to share their ideas helped bring attention to important issues and inspired positive change. This demonstrates how free speech can be a powerful tool for improving society and protecting the rights of marginalised groups. For me, the most important aspect of free speech is its connection to personal freedom and human dignity. The ability to express one's thoughts and beliefs is closely tied to individual identity. People use speech to share their experiences, cultural traditions, religious beliefs, artistic creations and personal opinions. Restricting expression can limit a person's ability to participate fully in society and develop as an individual. By protecting free speech, societies recognise the value of each person's voice and their right to contribute to public life. This aspect of free speech is now seriously under threat. In spite of its importance, though, free speech is not an unlimited right. Most countries do recognise that certain forms of expression can cause serious harm and may therefore be restricted. Examples include direct threats of violence, defamation, fraud, and speech that incites criminal acts. These limitations are generally intended to protect public safety and the rights of others. However, determining where to draw the line between protected expression and harmful speech can be difficult. Different countries and legal systems often approach this issue in different ways, leading to ongoing debates about the appropriate balance between freedom and responsibility. We have not got that balance anywhere near right. We have recently seen once again that powerful people can incite and indeed then bring about large-scale disorder and violence, yet go unsanctioned as they retreat back into their grubby little holes. Whilst the rest of us better be very careful what we say, lest a stint at His Majesty's pleasure beckons. The rise of the internet and social media has added new dimensions to discussions about free speech. Digital platforms allow people to communicate with global audiences instantly, making it easier than ever to share ideas and access information. At the same time, online spaces can also spread misinformation, harassment and extremist content. As a result, governments, technology companies and citizens continue to debate how online speech should be managed while preserving fundamental freedoms. These challenges highlight the need to protect free expression while encouraging responsible communication and critical thinking. But I think that we have become an anxious nation because our ruling classes have insufficient moral strength to know where the line can and should be drawn, and so they just draw it across the board because that's easier for them. And meanwhile, we are left to navigate our way through it all and to take the consequences if we get it wrong. This general principle can be seen in action right across the societal landscape and is not confined to matters arising out of the written or spoken word alone. It explains why successive administrations of all stripes enact more and more unnecessary legislation in a bid to make their regulatory responsibilities much easier for them to discharge. In other words, they want all the pay, power and perks, but none of the hard work. That is left to the rest of us as our lives become harder to live and our rewards all but gone. Once again, thank you for listening to me ramble on for the last 15 minutes or so. Can I ask if you do like what I do on this channel, if you will please subscribe if you are not already subscribed. It's completely free now and forever, just a click away, and it makes a massive difference to help me with my work. And if you also have the hype icon, if you could give that a click as well, that will also give me quite a significant leg up. So with that, I will wish you the safest of riding, and of course, until the next time, I'll see thee.